What's going on, guys? And welcome to week 6 of the NFL recap. We'll start off with a Thursday game. It's Tom Brady's Buccaneers versus the Eagles. We start off with an O.J. Howard touchdown in the first, a rushing pass from Tom Brady to Howard to get a touchdown. Then we go into the second and another touchdown for the Buccaneers to make it 14-7. Jalen Hunt gets 3 touchdowns in this game to make it, like I said, 14-7, 21-7, 28-7, and 28-14 in the third, 28-20 in the fourth, and Watkins with a 2 point in the fourth to make it 29-22 to the Buccaneers. Then we go into the Sunday games. It's the Chargers versus the Ravens, 6-34. It was 0-7 in the first. Interception from the Ravens. Then we had a touchdown from Murray in the first to make it 7-0. Then we had a 0-14 in the second. 0-17 with a field goal from the second from the Ravens, and then Chargers touchdown to make it 6-17 in the second. Touchdown by Andrews in the third to make it 6-23 in the third, and 6-27. A Ravens field goal in the third, and a touchdown for the Ravens in the fourth to make it 6-34 to the Ravens. The Packers versus the Bears, 24-14 of the Chicago Bears, and Aaron Rodgers makes Chicago his bitch. He makes the Chicago Bears his bitch once again with his 24-14 win. It was 0-7 to the Bears. The Bears started off good in this game with an 0-7, and then Khalil Mack was sacking Aaron Rodgers. Touchdown, like I said, from the Bears, and then in the second it was a touchdown to make it 7-7 to the Packers. A field goal for Crosby in the second to make it 7-7, and then 10-7 in the second from a touchdown from Jones in the third to make it 17-7, and then 17-14. Touchdown from Mooney in the fourth to make it 17-14, and then Rodgers got a touchdown to make it 24-14 to the Packers. Then we had the Vikings versus the Panthers, 34-28. 3-0 in the first, 3-7 in the first. Touchdown by Hobart in the first. Two field goals for Joseph in the second to make it 6-7, and then touchdown on the Vikings in the second to make it 12-7 in the second, and then 48-yard field goal to make it 12-10. Then we have a touchdown from the Vikings in the third to make it 18-17 in the third, 25-17 in the third, and a touchdown in the fourth to make it 28-34 to the Panthers. To the Vikings. Then we go on to the Cardinals, the only team that's undefeated right now in the NFL. The Cardinals versus the Browns. We have a rushing pass to Kirk in the first to make it 7-0 to the Cardinals. Johnson interception from the Browns in the first. Then a touchdown, fifth touchdown of the season. That was for the fifth touchdown of the season for Hopkins in the second to make it 14-0 in the second to the Cardinals. Field goal for the Cardinals in the second to make it 17-0 in the second, and it was 20-0 in the second, 20-7 in the second, 23-7 in the second, and a field goal to the Cardinals. Going into the third, it was Jones who got 2 touchdowns in this game, 23-15. Going into the fourth, touchdown AJ Green to make it 30-14, and then touchdown Cardinals, Hopkins again to make it 31-14 to the Cardinals. Then we had the Seahawks versus the Steelers. This was the first game that Seahawks have. This is the first game without Russell Wilson because last week's game he injured his finger, so don't know how many weeks he's going to be injured for. So we started off with a 0-7 in the second to the Steelers. Touchdown, second touchdown for the touchdown in the second for the Steelers to make it 0-14 in the second. Touchdown in for the Seahawks for Collins in the third to make it 7-14. Field goal for the Steelers in the third to make it 7-17. And touchdown in the third to make it 14-17, and then touchdown, a field goal in the fourth to make it 20-20. In the fourth, then we go to overtime. It was a field goal to the Steelers to make it 20-23 to the Steelers. Then we have Dak Prescott versus Belichick. And if I remember, I think I've seen the stats somewhere, maybe on YouTube or whatever. This is the first time the Cowboys have beaten the Patriots at home, away from home, since 1987. I think that was a stat. But we had an 0-7 in the first, touchdown by the Pats. Then we had a 7-7 touchdown by Garwin in the first. 7-14 in the first. Then we have a field goal from the Cowboys in the second to make 10-14. Touchdown in the third by Lamb. 17-14 in the third. Field goal in the third for the Cowboys. 20-14 in the third. Cowboys interception. Then we have a touchdown from the Cowboys in the fourth to make it 26-21. And then touchdown by Andre Stevenson in the fourth to make it 20-21. Then Cowboys field goals to make it 29-29. Overtime, Cowboys get a touchdown plus 2 to make it 35-29. Then we have the Raiders versus the Broncos, 34-24. This was the first game that the Raiders have had after the whole thing with their coach happened and stuff. It started 7-0 for the Raiders in the first, 7-6. Field goal for the Raiders to make it 10-7. And then touchdown by Drake to make it 17-7 in the third, 24-7 in the third. Then the Raiders field goal in the fourth to make it 34-17 in the fourth, and it was 34-24 to the Raiders. Then we had the Rams versus the Giants, 38-11. This game, it was 0-3 to the Giants, 27-yard field goal to the Giants, touchdown by Wood in the second to make it 7-3 in the second. Touchdown in the fourth, in the second touchdown for Henderson in the second to make it 14-3. Giants interception, field goal for to make it 31-3. Touchdown by Cooper to make it 38-3 in the fourth, and then a touchdown for the Giants to make it 30-11 in the fourth. 38-11 in the fourth to the Rams. Then we have the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs versus Washington. 7-0 in the first, touchdown by Chiefs. A field goal for Washington in the first to make it 7-3. Then second, it was 10-3 in the second, 43-yard field goal to make it 10-6. Touchdown by Jones in the second to make it 10-13. Washington interception, touchdown by Tyreek Hill in the third to make it 17-13. Touchdown by Darrell Williams in the fourth to make it 26-13 in the fourth, and 31-13 with a touchdown from the Chiefs to win the game. Then we have the Texans versus the Colts, 30-31. Touchdown by Campbell for the Colts in the first, making it 0-7. 41-yard field goal for the Colts in the second, making it 0-10. And then 3-10 in the second. Touchdown by Colt again. Second touchdown of the game. By the Colts, second touchdown. Touchdown by the Colts. And then it was a third. In the second half, it was 3-17 in the third. 3-24. Taylor got a touchdown for the Colts in the third. 23-24, and then touchdown again for Taylor, second touchdown of the game, 23-31. Then we have the Dolphins versus Tony Khan's Jags. And the Jags won the first game, 20-23. This was a close game. Touchdown by the Dolphins in the first 6-0. Then it was touchdown by Jags. No, field goal by the Jags in the first, 27-3. 33-yard field goal by the Dolphins to make it 10-3 in the second. 13-3 in the second. Touchdown by Marvin Jones in the second to make it 13-10. Touchdown by Robinson in the third to make it 13-17. And 54-yard field goal in the fourth for the Jags, plus 2 points. Touchdown to make it 20-23 for the Jags. Then we have the Bengals, Joe Burrow and the Bengals versus Dan Campbell and the guy who's going to take your kneecaps out. And we all know that I've said, and for years and years, the Lions have been a bad run, and everybody laughs at the Lions, and is their kind of the marks the Lions, and which they should, because the organization, the front office is bad. But you can see, I know Dan Campbell got some criticism of him crying and getting emotional over his team, but if you think about it, the division that the Lions are in, there's going to be a lot of transition in that division that the Lions are in, because you've got to think about it. The Packers are going to, is Aaron Rodgers going to have another season next year? Is he going to be there for 2022, or is this going to be his last season? The Vikings are mid. The Bears, is Justin Fields going to be that dude or not under Matt Nagy? If Matt Nagy stays another season, I'm worried about Justin Fields' development and what the hell he's going to be in another year. So for the Lions, I know that they're bad now, but you can see that Dan Campbell is trying to change the culture of the Lions. He's got a bad roster, so he only can do what he can do. And I know they got draft capital that they can flex for the draft next year. So maybe in a couple of years they can actually start winning the division. And I'm not saying going to the Super Bowl, but they can actually start being one of the better teams in their division. Because if you look at it, like I just said, like the Bears, don't know what they're going to be with Justin Fields in a year. Aaron Rodgers, what's life going to be like after Aaron Rodgers, and is Jordan Love going to be that quarterback that the Packers need post Patrick Mahomes post Aaron Rodgers. What is it? Post Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, the Lions won 34-11. No, the Bengals won 34-11. And we had a 7-0 in the first, field goal by the Bengals in the second, 10-0 in the second. Joe Nix makes it 17-0 in the third, and then 40-yard field goal in the third, 20-7 in the third, 20-0 in the third, 27-0 in the fourth, and it was 33-3 in the fourth, and a 35-yard line field goal to make it 34-11. But you can see with the Lions, and Dan Campbell, like if you look back at it, they are trying to win. They are trying to win these games, and some of these games, they should have beaten the Bears. It's just they have a bad roster. Anyway, the final game, the Monday game, we had the Titans versus the Bills, 31-24. A great win for the Titans this week, beating the Bills, who a lot of people are saying that they could be in the Super Bowl this year. 31-24. Was it 31-24? 31-34. Yeah. That was 3-0 and a field goal to the Bills in the first. Then a 28-yard field goal in the second to make it 23-17 in the second. A Derek Hendrick had a touchdown to make it 6-6 in the second. Then three touchdowns in this game. Derek Henry had a great game to make it 31-34. 52-yard field goal for Stefon Diggs in the second. And the game was 31 to 34 to the Bills. So yeah, leave your guys' thoughts in the comments, guys. Peace.